Oh, there's an update. Yeah, there's an update queued. I didn't install the update. God damn it, Shiz. Christ. I didn't know there was going to be an update. All right, installed. We're fine. You're banging 9 on 9 off all the time while GDQ is on. Yeah, I know. Updates. Can you imagine that? Oh, what if the... Well, I mean, we can scroll through all the text and like... Oh, you pushed it. You're like, that motherfucker is going to go live with his stream. Time to push the update and break his saves. Well, it's a moment of truth. I mean, it looks good to me. Act 2, Falling Snow. Here we are, folks. The game just closes. All right, everyone out. Caprice and I step out onto the busy sidewalk per Eileen's orders, the chatty girl leaning through the passenger door. As Eileen, every time I see the phrase passenger door, I just like hanging out her best friend's ride. Do I have the 18 plus patch? I think I don't because I'm playing on Steam. I think if I did direct download or itch, I would be playing 18 plus. So, but I can't. Yeah, trying to holler at me. Right. So that was exactly my thought. Shiz was not that I think you folks are being that crazy, but let me just let me just stick to the Radioactive. How's it going? Thank you for the big raid. Welcome to a very, very cozy visual novel stream. So just to let you all know what's going on here, Shizacular here in chat worked on this new visual novel for Snow, and we're getting through that right now. I also do other stuff too. If you don't know me, I'm currently learning to speedrun San Andreas, and I also do a bunch of other casual plays of games that people vote on. Hope to collect. Oh, need to visit the. Oh, see, that's funny. I did you, Frank? Did you see in the subscriber chat that I think it was that Shiz posted that's. I guess you're quoting that CB article, right? Is that what you're quoting? I'm not sure. Also, Diego's here. But yeah, folks, if you're interested in, okay, you are. I was like, if you are interested in, affecting some of the future casual plays, you can always vote. Frank there just put in the poll options in the chat. You can see them: Child of Light, Vanquish, Sexy Brutale, Uncharted 2. I'm gonna be starting a Metal Gear Solid 2 play probably on Saturday, so that should be really exciting. But yeah, thank you again for the raid. Oh, bye, Diego. All right. Anyway, yeah, the fishing will be mailed. Anyway, through the passenger door, trying to holler at me as Eileen tries to get the car going again, giving a long stretch to help my stiff back. I do my best to keep out of the way. After news of Eileen's owning a car leaked out, Caprice's mind immediately set about organizing the art club's first outing. Inspiration for our art, she called it, but it was obviously an excuse to hang out. I mean, isn't everything in college an excuse to hang out, though? With things having gone this awry, I feel a little bad for going along with the idea despite Eileen's reluctance. Humans create is infinite. Feel like the Diego on screen is not enough. Well, where? Oh. All right, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna. All right. I mean, he's kind of like behind me. Oh my god. Is he? No, I can't get the. See, I need to get more slack. A while ago I did cable management, and turns out when you do cable management, you can't actually move things because you've collected all the cables and bundled them. This is the beginning of Act 2. That is correct. Their investigations apparently coming to nothing. Caprice writes herself as the car falls silent. Eileen closes the door behind her with some force before plodding around to us. Frustration written to her face. Yeah, a separate Diego cam would probably be the right answer. I would have to figure out a way to like bait him into being in one place though. I don't know if that means that I need to have like a dog bed up here or something. I don't know. I don't know if Diego can be corralled or controlled. Looks like the engine won't idle at all. Serves me right for buying secondhand. Know why it's not working? No idea. She looks a little sheepish for not having the answer on hand, but I can't say I blame her. Well, so the couch downstairs is like, it's like in a completely separate room in the house. And when Diego comes up here, he usually just sits at the foot of the bed, to my right here. Right, no, yeah, pretty much, yeah, like pretty much he often just sort of like loiters, like you can see the foot of the bed there. And that's usually where he ends up loitering, so. As the two of us mull over our options, we become distracted by Caprice and her wide grin. She has a plan cooked up already, for better or worse. So the answer is, okay, so here's the thing. Honestly, most people I know buy used cars because, like, when I bought a car, I bought a new car, but A, I knew it was a luxury, and also B, I was buying like literally the cheapest new car at Nissan. So like, you know, I do well for myself, and I bought a new Nissan Versa. So you know, so it's not exactly like it's not exactly luxury. I don't know. Americans have weird feelings about cars. I feel like a lot of Americans use cars as status symbols. Which I think is obnoxious. I now have like a bias against people who drive luxury brand cars, because generally I think people who drive Lexus or BMW or Mercedes, they're all shitty. They all drive shitty. They don't signal. They cut people off. I don't know. You bought your car brand new because I knew I needed something to last me. I mean, that's the other thing, is that like, I bought a 2012 Nissan Versa new, and I now only have like 36,000 miles on it because I knew I wasn't going to drive that much, and it's in like perfectly fine condition. I mean, Xeon, you're absolutely right that cars are luxuries that are kind of forced upon people in America. Like, that's honestly one of the things that, I don't know. Xeon, how is public transit where you are? Because I feel like the big problem in a lot of America is that transit is absent, like completely missing, or it otherwise just sucks. Like, unless you live in a few specific cities and places. What are you smiling about now? I've got this. Just stay right here. I gotta make a call. Yeah, I mean, if you need reliability, I mean, to be fair though, buying a new car doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be reliable. Yeah, I think my parents once got a Chrysler Town and Country that was just the biggest lemon. It's pretty developed, mostly buses. They're building Skyline train route, probably. That's really cool. I'm jelly. I wish. I think in my lifetime, the Philadelphia metro area has had exactly like one new train route, and it's like a light rail that I have used, and like, so good, like more light rail, please. I wish, you know, I wish there were more lines into Philadelphia, but what are you gonna do? Eileen and I grimace at each other in unison, but Caprice bounces off down the street before either of us can object, getting the phone from her pocket as she walks. She flits between the people around her while unbothered by the ice on the sidewalk. Yeah, I'm actually like a big fan of the river line, I think, and I mean, that's like, it's such a, like a poor little isolated line, but it's so useful. I can just like do easy day trips to New York City, just do like light rail to the Northeast Corridor line. It's so simple. Bing bong bing. The background hum of people chatting in cars passing by takes over once again as we find ourselves at loose ends. Not like we could go anywhere else. Anyway. Japanese made public trains is good. Even when people have cars, they still do use. Right. I mean, that's the thing is like, I have a car. I have that luxury. But that's because like half the things I do or like require it, you know, like I have a bicycle and I bike to things in town. Yeah, I'm sure there are rural areas of Japan where that doesn't apply probably, but I don't know, like, you know, I don't know what the coverage is like. I feel like the thing I always hear about Japan is that it's not so much like specifically like rail coverage as is rail between cities. Cause like, you know, I feel like for my whole life, I've heard about bullet trains and like, I don't know if that's real, but it sounds really cool to be able to take a fast train between major cities. That sounds dope. I would like that. So well, yeah. I learned that when I went to ESA 2017. I don't even think it was high speed rail, but taking a train from Copenhagen to Växjö, which is really good. That's a fair point. Both of them are rather stubborn, so I suppose it's inevitable they'd clash sometimes. Imagine going on trains and subways own, if you have them. I mean, I realize, especially in America, there aren't as many of them as I'd wish. Never been on a train before. I've never been on a magnetic train. I've only ever been on normal ass electric and diesel trains. So yeah, Sweden's trains are so clean. It's truly wild. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what makes a train magnetic? I don't know. That might be science fiction, or at least not widely applied. On the bright side, of all the places to break down, here isn't so bad. The weather is not too chilly, and it's nice to observe people sometimes, especially when they're bundled up in cute winter outfits. Yo, shoutouts to winter. Meanwhile, is that blood or juice? Did they break down? No, it's the beginning of Act 2 they broke down. Some city workers in the distance are already beginning to set up the downtown Christmas tree, providing some entertainment for the people walking by as they struggle with the unwieldy thing. Things will change as last-minute Christmas shoppers and sale hunters start rushing around. But right now, it's a pleasant atmosphere. And you have to say sale hunting is a lot better than whale hunting. No, you didn't really miss anything. It was just the car breaks down. That's pretty much it. I'm like a fan of Amtrak as like the experience. I just wish it were more subsidized, you know? Like that's just sort of the general problem is that I don't know. I wish it weren't so expensive. Gonna go shop for breakfast. Good luck, have fun. Don't die. Turning back to Eileen, she doesn't seem as content to patiently pass the time people watching as I am. Sorry, that's a bad Dota reflex. Have I played SMT Devil Survivor? I have not. Oh, wait, I did play it? No, I didn't. Are you looking at the list? Did I say I played it on the list? On the spreadsheet? I don't think it shouldn't be. Well, it's on the list, but is it marked played? I'm gonna go grab a coffee. You want one? I'm fine. Probably having. Really? I must have screwed something up. No, I haven't marked it played. You goon. No, in the complete column, there's nothing that says I've played it. So everything in my body is marked plaid. That's how it works. That's correct. There's no such thing as too much coffee. As I shake my head at her offer, Eileen simply shrugs and begins strolling down the road in the opposite direction to Caprice. Rather than dance around the crowd, people make way for Eileen as she moves, her gaze fixed and noticeably taller than most. With little to do now but watch the car, I huff into my gloved hands a couple of times to try and warm them. At least the aquarium, Christ. At least the aquarium should be warmer if we ever manage to finish. They're going to an aquarium, that's funny. Circumnavigation is going to all 88 temples on the circuit. That sounds dope. Nah, I haven't played any SMT games besides Personas 1, 3, 4, and 5. Just as I was about to settle in and watch the passing crowds, the phone in my pocket begins to vibrate and ring. Not sure who it could be, I quickly grab for it. Dad. Without a second thought, I swipe my finger on the screen to pick up the call. Dad, hi. Hey, sweetie. It's good to hear your voice again. How are things? Yeah, that ringer was a banger. What happened to both twos? The answer is I just haven't played them yet. I wasn't playing them in order. The order I played the Persona games in was actually, it was 1, 5, 3, 4. So, yeah, if somebody picks Persona 2 as a game, I might do it, you know. But, well, at least Innocent Sin, and then maybe Eternal Punishment. We'll see. The sound of the crowds fades away as I listen to him. A comfortable warmth coming over me as I feel insulated from their gazes and focused on the conversation. I liked 1 a lot more than I expected to, because I didn't really think I would like the first-person dungeon crawler, but I actually thought it was pretty okay. I think the only part of 1 that I really didn't like was the very ending, the true ending. The final boss is obnoxious in a rule-breaking way, so... things are good, I guess. Make my next game 2 instance in if you don't get someone else. Okay. Duly noted. Haven't caught you at a bad time, have I? I could call back later. Oh, no, just out with friends. He gives his usual weird laugh, sounding more like air moving through closed teeth than a normal full-bellied chuckle. It never fails to make me smile. All this. Is her dad like Snidely Whiplash? Is that like a wheezing noise? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. What's that about? Just a relief to hear that. We've all been worried about you finding new friends after such a big change. With changing schools and moving out. You want the thing? Oh, you want the little phone charm? It is very cute. Thinking to the people I've met in school, I guess I really have. Caprice pulled me into her orbit. Wallace seems nice and caring for all his intimidating size. And then there's Eileen. They might be a bit odd, but they're all caring in their own ways. Really, I need Allison to check her email. Christ. You got a notification. Fix it. Anyway. Felt the same way about one with its person. Yeah, no, like again, I usually don't play first-person dungeon crawlers, so I feel like that reflects well on P1. And of course, I did play the PSP remake version. I did not play Revelations Persona, so that probably helped too. Yeah, Allison just has like 5,000 unread emails, and she doesn't unsubscribe from marketing emails. One of those people. It's funny how art seems to have drawn us all together, each in a different way. Before I respond, I vaguely hear my mother's voice in the background. Your mother said to ask if things are going okay at home. Everything's good. Rose has been a big help with everything. Life too busy to spend on reading dumb messages. I feel like that could be like a variation, like 1,450,500,000 dumb messages. World is a text. World is an SMS. Yeah, you could just get rid of the just disable Gmail from from posting from doing push notifications. That's vastly understating things. If it weren't for her, I don't know how I would have coped. Not just for the constant housework and errands, but also for being away from everyone and everything I knew before. Yeah, the PSP remake of Persona 1 definitely seems right. Icy, I'm gonna sneak onto your computer when you fall asleep and just mark all your email read. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna believe that you actually conquered your inbox, and we'll both be happier. Oh, you made a custom ISO for? Oh, is that like a fan patch translation or something for Eternal Punishment? Because that was never localized, right? Or are you talking about the PlayStation 1 version? That's good to hear. Hopefully it'll take a bit of stress off a certain someone. Tell Rose hello for us, if you remember. Right, yeah. Eternal Punishment was only localized for PlayStation 1, as I remember, yeah. Whereas Innocent Sin was only localized on PSP. Born to content, tweet as a fuck, post them all 1989. I'm quote retweet, man. You love to see it. What is the... I should just look up Know Your Meme. I'm curious where that came from originally. I don't even think I know what the original version of that is. How's everyone there? Your brothers are a pain in the ass like always, for one. Yeah, the Born to Die or whatever. I am happy to announce. Yeah. Oh my god, I need to take a screenshot of this. Here we go. I'm putting this one into in the stream discussion. Fretzel used ad permitted term shitty Chinese. That won't come back to bite me at all. Apparently Twitch Automod was concerned that we were, I guess, being unfair to the Chinese, which I guess some people are. Well, look, if someone comes in here and is actually like racist, they're going to get banned, most likely. I don't, well, careful there, Mitch. Right on cue, one of them loudly complains in the background. As you can tell, how's Lucy? Same as always, she's sleeping in the other room. I hear my mother's voice again in the background. All right, she knocked a mug off the counter the other day. Your mom gave her a good scolding. I think she's acting out without you around. I can't help but laugh imagining it. My mom exasperated with my cat. Oh, there you go. Interesting. Fretzel's figuring out mod tools. You know, it's really 2020 when I'm pretty sure of the mods, Fretzel knows the Twitch mod tools better than than any of the other ones. But that's like the 2020 that we deserve. Anyway, we're getting by. It ain't the same without you, though. In a whispered voice, he continues. Is that... No, look. Think about, like, Fretzel. Think about the other mods, all right? The only time Coca has ever taken moderation action was with his butt. Oh, you know what? I guess you're right. You're right. You got a point there. Ignis was pretty good about getting rid of those bot accounts. You have a strong point. In a whispered voice, he continues. Wait, what about the PMC try chess? The original chess master? The one that the the whole emote is based on? I don't think I actually moderated him at the time. Yeah. I don't think I actually moderated him. Because I just don't think he was self-aware enough. You know, like, I've had people come in since then who were rude, but yeah, I mean, look, if we ever play a Fire Emblem game again on stream, maybe he'll come back. Because I think it was during, I was playing Fire Emblem Fates Birthright on stream, I think. So, yeah, you know, I feel like in my gut, I always knew that Gootecks would end up being evil. But, like, I don't know. Yo, make sure to give your mother a call sometime, okay? I'll call her, don't worry. You know, it's amazing to me at this point how many FGC people just turned out to be awful. And, like, part of the thing is, though, that, like, some people don't even, like, there are people that I already didn't like in the FGC because I thought they were sort of abusive figures. Like, honestly, I really don't like Aris. I don't know why anyone likes Aris. I don't think he's good, but everyone still loves his emotes, so I was like, whatever, no big deal. Like, I'm not gonna, like, be a jerk about it. Well, but now, like, so what's the deal with Gootecks? Gootecks has now several times, and one of the last ones went viral, but Gootecks has been tweeting that the, like, conspiracy theories about COVID, like that hydroxychloroquine is effective for treating COVID, stuff like that. Atta girl, anything worrying you, on your mind? Yeah, basically just sort of like weird far-right bullshit. Like, the mainstream media isn't telling us the truth about COVID, you know, like that kind of stuff. I realize my mistake the moment I answer, having spoken just a little too quickly to make it seem natural. My mind starts to replay embarrassing situations I've been in, the constant concerns and worries of living alone, the loneliness. Oh shit, did I really make that bot command and not include a link to Oh my god. Excuse me just a second. I can't believe I did that. I think I did that at like midnight last night. Or I was like, I wanted a timed command for, like, yelling at people to join the Discord. And then, of course, like the biggest idiot in the universe, I forgot to put the goddamn link in it. Good God. Professional streamer PMC. Oh, I think that was like right after my bedtime one night. All right, well, I'm gonna kill the bot real quick, bring it back up. Oh, Eben? Wait, on his stream or during GDQ? I mean, Fru also called me out because of the tank flipping thing. Which, fair. I've been rooting for that tank flip for every time Fru plays that game. So, yeah, GDQ. Well, here's the thing. Eben apparently has flipped the tank twice. So he tried to call me out, but then he just, you know, dunked on himself by, I was like, actually, I flipped the tank twice. Why aren't I known for flipping the tank? I'm like, I don't know, Eben. Why aren't you? Dad's calming voice cuts through, interrupting my spiraling thoughts. I'd better let you get back to your friends. I hope I'm not keeping you away. It's fine. I'm just happy to hear you again. We miss you too. Christmas around here will be a lot warmer once you're back for the holidays. We're going to miss you at Nana's this year. Right, I mean, that that clip of me flipping the tank is I'm pretty sure still my most viewed clip. I'll be looking forward to it too. I love you, Allison. I love you too. Bye. A few seconds pass before the familiar beeping of the ended call tone rings in my ear. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Putting away the phone, I feel like I should be happy to have spoken to my family again. That couldn't be any further from what I feel, though. The horrible lump in my throat only gets worse as I stare down glumly at the dirty snow on the sidewalk. Yeah, top 1 tanks, must see. I mean, look, I got a tank on right now. This is my, I got my Final Fantasy X. This is my Blitzball Summer Cup 2019 tank top. Everyone knows that when you have the every blitzer knows that when you have the ball, you got to score. My heart hurts. The taste of my mother's food, my old bedroom, all the friends I left behind when I went to this college, my cat, they all come flooding back. It's just homesickness. I've dealt with this before and more than once. The fact it'll pass doesn't help right now, though. Oh, the true crime. You know what? I think the reason the True Crime New York clip got a lot of views was because it got, I think it got linked in an Easy-Scape video. I think that was why. It was like runs dying on a world record pace, and I think I had tweeted that clip at him, and he used it in like the intro part. So I was like, all right, that's cool, and he linked it. So like, you know, good. It's what I wanted. Noticing Eileen through the crowd, coffee cup in hand as she sips away, I take a long breath and try to steady myself. I don't want to look weird in front of her, getting all sulky in the middle of the street. Definitely cried my first night in Philly and Kyra. See, this is like you know, this is like normal human reaction. You're in a new place, you're alone, you feel a little sad. My first morning at college, my body's reaction was just to instantly upchuck my breakfast, and then I was fine after that. And I still don't understand that. It was like, yo, this is your first morning, your Rochester breakfast. Immediately vomit it into the nearest toilet. All right, on with your day. Great. That was quick. All right. Stay safe, Mitch. Hey, the cavalry's here too. She jerks her head towards the top of the street in answer to my confusion. Yeah, it's true. It is true, Frank. It's extremely true. Caprice frantically waves to flag someone down, their little car sliding into a parking spot not far from where Eileen's ended up. It looks well cared for, despite its age. God, I hate Overwatch. Ooh. All Eileen and I can do is stare as the driver opens the door and steps out. I'm more than a little surprised when I recognize her as being another student from college. She looks to be about our age despite her ladylike appearance, her tall figure dressed in a smart trench coat and scarf. It's quite a fashionable look and hardly who I expected to arrive. As Caprice excitedly chats to her, I feel myself shrinking behind Eileen, a little out of shyness. She looks much more apathetic about the whole affair, simply taking a long sip of her coffee. Getting on Eileen's good side made me forget how unsociable she could be. How about, is Overwatch 2 a thing? Has that been announced? Ta-da! Found a mechanic right nearby. I feel a little sheepish for assuming the worst of her little mission. Caprice seems to be very friendly with the woman, but it's hard to read much into that given Caprice's personality. Oh, wow. Oh, you know what? I think I know why I probably don't know about this. It's probably because I muted Overwatch in TweetDeck. That's how much I don't like Overwatch. Is that I actually straight up muted it so I can't see tweets about Overwatch. in TweetDeck, which is probably why I don't know about it. That makes sense. I mean, I straight up muted Overwatch. I don't want to see the word. Hey, Xeon. Welcome back. Does it have a release date? Hi, I'm Millie. Yo, that is... We're gonna go throughout anime and find every Millie and put them in like a lineup, like an arrest lineup, and they're all gonna be the same. Like, I feel like this is exactly like Millie from Trigun. Think of all the XCOM, yeah, all the XCOM discourse. It's true, right? I think Frank, what you're saying with the meta, I feel like that's kind of what it was. It was just at a certain point, you know, at a certain point you had to understand the meta to play with friends, you know? And at that point it stopped being fun, right? Like, for me, like, the best memories of Overwatch are just doing goofy things, like, you know, using Lucio to boot people off of cliffs, or I remember one time we did like what was it? We did like five of the arrow guys and one Lucio, and then the 5 arrow guys, Hanzo, all got their ultimates, and we just did a rush down where we all fired the ultimates in a row and charged to the second flag. It was very funny. Oh, you know what? The 3v3 mode was actually pretty good. The elimination mode. I think that was the last time I had fun playing Overwatch was at a MagFest LAN party where I played that with some friends and actually had a good time. Well, the map was so constrained that we were actually able to get like coverage on like the entire area that they were defending. And so, yeah, so the dragon just consumed them completely. And we won the map instantly, like on the spot after killing all of them. It was glorious. I think I have the highlights somewhere. I can go find that, actually. There are some old highlights on this Twitch channel. Oh, they're roommates. A mechanic might be stretching things a bit far, but I should be able to help. And now, Millie, it's time for you to meet my art club. Introducing Eileen and Allison. All I can do is give a weak smile as Eileen snorts in weary disapproval. Like it or not, looks like we're a part of this misadventure for good. Yo, it's the art club. Everyone loves the art club. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I see. That's a good example too. Just playing, like, just doing silly stuff with Roadhog was fine. I could have sworn there was already. Oh, what is? I could have sworn. Like, yes. Let me. Is she a villain? Is Millie the villain? Is there a villain in this? I know this is a visual novel. Maybe this is a villainous novel. A villain? Chilling like a Millen villain. What is? Yeah, that's what evil people do, Gendo. That one is garbage. Mine is the cool art club. Yeah, who's getting doxxed back here? So that's what you've been so happy about lately. She'll be the one that is killed at the end. I can't wait for the next patch of First Snow when they add guns. Shame on me. And they just add a gun to everyone's portrait. No one actually fires a gun or acknowledges the gun. It's just a mod of the game where everyone is packing heat. Shame on me for thinking you were ever jealous of my position in the writing club. Yeah, First Scope. It's a prequel to the Konami Silent Scope video game series. Reminder of the time that Icy asked me what they added to Animal Crossing, and my first response was guns? Is that what all of this is about? Caprice wanted to be on level with her friend? I guess it worked out well for us anyway. So you're in charge of the writing club? Guns in Animal Crossing. I mean, they already have like mecha and like other things, fireworks. They're really not that far away from it. Yeah, playing Animal Crossing, started blasting. Just how it be. The current leader's graduating at the end of this semester, so he's handing the reins to me. Seems I made a good impression on him. And the rest of the club doesn't get a say? That's how it works. I like to call it a stable line. She's a villain. Yo, she's a villain. She doesn't want democracy. She just wants to seize power. Look at this body language. Look at this verbal language. A villain. Speaking of which, I need to get back to the writing I was doing before I got that phone call. Your car had issues? Yeah. Engine died without any warning. Managed to coast it to the side of the road. Eileen doesn't seem exactly taken with the situation. Millie's explanation of her being a writer not explaining her ability to fix a car. We don't have much option but to put our faith in her at this point. I'm guessing Caprice gave you the briefing. Need me around to start the thing? Oh, let me! The answer was fireworks. I mean, fireworks are just like, yeah, they're basically the same. Eileen narrows her eyes, but eventually sighs and chucks her keys at the girl. Caprice's momentary hesitation shows she expected that to work no more than I did. Yeah, she probably, you know, speaking of Millie from Trigun, she probably actually does have a minigun under her trench coat. Or no, wait, it wasn't Millie who had the... Was Millie the one that had all the Derringers? Do we have any Trigun ologists in the chat? Is Millie the tall one or the short one of the two insurance women? It's been so long since I watched that show. Just don't go for a drive or something. I assure you, you haven't seen me actually angry yet. The seriousness of her tone seems to penetrate a little. Of course, Caprice being Caprice. It doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Okay, so Millie, oh, and Meryl. Trigun is too old. Wow. But you've watched like Bebop and stuff. I don't know. I think old anime is cool as hell. Like what else have I watched that's really... Oh, you know what Gunbuster owned? Like that was probably the oldest anime. No, well, Mobile Suit Gundam. The original Mobile Suit Gundam is still the best Gundam, so... Now then, let's fix this thing. Right, let's have a look. She gives us a confident smile before popping the hood. Caprice taking on the job of her assistant. To Millie's credit, she looks like a natural as she quickly moves this and that around about to peer inside. Yeah, people trying to kill me for being old. No, okay, all right, wait. We need to have a dialogue. We need to have a discourse about something. Folks, in fiction, how many of y'all are familiar with the concept that if you're in a spaceship traveling at light speed or near light speed, that you will age slower, that you will experience time slower than the world around you? That's a pretty common concept, right? Can you get like a 1 or something if you've read or watched something that has that concept in it? I just need to be affirmed here. Actual science counts too. Yes, if you've heard of actual relativity, you are also allowed to type 1. So, Xeon, the idea is that you're in a spaceship that's going at or near the speed of light, and you experience time slower than something that isn't moving that fast. See, that's a major pop, right. This idea of relativity is a major plot point of the series Gunbuster, and Icy was unfamiliar with it, and because of that, I think it would be fair to say that its incorporation into the narrative did not work for her. And whereas, like, at the end, like, I'm like, you know, I'm tearing up because of how sad the ending is, how bittersweet. And Icy's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, come on! This is an emotional moment. If you don't need us, we'll just go for a short walk, all right? If you're going at the speed of light, people left behind are actually slower. Well, all right. Explaining relativity is going to be more than I want to do. The meaning of we becomes clear as Eileen puts a hand around my shoulder to direct me, the two of us walking off beside each other and leaving the two to their work. It feels a little weird to have Eileen's arm around my back and holding my shoulder as we walk side by side. Even if it is to guide me, she takes a long while to let go. Wow. Gunbuster is a series where it becomes most apparent, and it was very emotional. Yeah. No, it's, you know, it's kind of funny. I think it's very much been that case when Icy and I watch things, that I think, like, I am like the emotionally sensitive one. And I feel like Icy is like, all right, but how does that work? Like, what's the plot here? Even if it is to guide me, she takes a long while to let go. You sure you're all right leaving them alone? Not at all. Not like I can do anything to actually help, though. All I can do is awkwardly laugh it off. I don't have the first clue on even day-to-day maintenance for a car after all, so maybe just staying out of the supposed mechanic's way might be for the best. At least it broke the ice a bit, as I still feel a little unsure when I'm alone with her. I can never seem to get a read on Eileen. Every time we talk, I end up getting caught in her pace. Even now, I'm not sure why she pulled me away to walk with her. A couple of us are trying to predict in advance our RDR2 events, whether it be one that draws. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of stuff that we've watched where Icy was maybe reacting more to it than I was. I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes we're both there. Like, I think we both, you know, reacted to Togo, that recent Disney movie about the Alaskan sled dogs. Yeah, I feel like, honestly, Archie, I feel like doing the streaming thing does kind of make me perform. You get worked up and emotional at stuff. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Willem Dafoe does make everything real. That's correct. I mean, Icy, what would you cite as examples of things that we've watched together where you feel it very much emotionally resonated with you? I would be curious to hear your answer. Dragon Prince? Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah, okay. As she drops her emptied coffee cup into a bin as we pass, I realize it's going to be up to me to raise the subject. So, you saw me earlier, huh? You did look a bit bummed when you got off the phone. Didn't want to bring it up if you didn't, though. She left me no choice. I miss talking to my family after so long. Sorry for being so flustered. Nothing to be sorry for. It's only natural. So you're homesick, huh? Sometimes. Moving out for the first time's a big deal. You don't need to beat yourself up over feeling stressed. Thanks. Thought I was doing okay, but when I heard my dad's voice again. In March 2019, I replied to someone by quoting Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, over a picture of that Garfield phone rescued from the bottom of the sea. That's a really good image. That's a solid. You got super emotionally invested. Oh yeah, Steven Universe. I mean, Steven Universe was good. Very good. Oh yeah, Icy and I are like, we just finished up season 4 of She-Ra. She-Ra is good. She-Ra is very good. I give a simple nod. She doesn't seem to be speaking in an overly soft or caring tone, but she is listening carefully. I appreciate it, really. She doesn't come off as patronizing. I can't imagine living alone. I've no idea how you do it. She gives an absent-minded shrug. I'm not really fussed about that sort of thing. Besides, Wallace drops by sometimes, and you're welcome as well. The thing that I think one of my favorite things about a character like Entrapta, I always enjoy characters that sort of have like unexplained abilities, because Entrapta's hair doesn't make a lick of sense, but that might be the point, you know? It's sort of wonderful. No one ever asks, despite all the other things that Entrapta does that people are like, what the hell? The hair, eh. I get the feeling Eileen's circling around what she actually wants to say. As she looks to me, I think she realizes that the game is up. The two of us stopping as she turns in front of me. We're all freshmen here. You, me, Caprice. We're all away from our families and trying to find our niche. If you want to talk or vent, we're around. Wallace told me you talked, so you have that big oaf as well. Yeah, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. It's a Netflix show, so I mean, if you're able to access it via the Netflix, that would be one way to go about it. Yeah. Did I choose the day? I mean, I chose to play the game as a stealth character as opposed to a warrior or a mage. Even as I manage to gather myself, I can't help but smile. I know it's a little bit selfish, but it's sort of nice to have someone worried over me. To my surprise, she brings her hand to my head and starts ruffling my hair. It's hard to read her expression as she does so, but I don't feel put off at all. Quite the opposite. She pauses for a moment, face stuck. Sorry, you don't... It's fine. I only just managed to splutter the words out. My dumb smile, better at getting the message across. I'm pretty sure it's static, Skiller. I don't know. There's not really been dialogue choices, so I don't really think that's I don't think it's a feature. Taking the cue, she begins petting my head once more. I forget how much I missed simple physical interaction, as awkward as she might be about. Well, it's a pure visual novel. I generally pure visual novels don't have choices, I think. I'm not an expert in the genre. Pure VNs can and do have choices. See, this is why we have actual authorities in the subject here. A choiceless VN is called a kinetic novel. No shit. Okay. A hug might be a bit more normal, but somehow it's hard to imagine Eileen doing that. It's not a secret I'm not great at this kind of thing. Just keep what I said in mind, all right? I will. Everyone's here to help me. I'll remember that. I mean, which part? I guess they said it's a visual novel. It's named after a series of visual novels from Key, a major VN publisher that all had no choices. Oh, okay. Oh, so the reason it's called Kinetic Novel is because of a particular popular series of VNs from a major publisher. Okay. Removing her hand, Eileen and I start heading back towards the car, side by side. It's easy for someone who's outgoing to comfort another, but it feels somehow more sincere from a loner like Eileen. She's making an extra effort for my sake. Somehow, I feel a little warmer than I did before. As we walk back, maybe the weather is improved, but I doubt that's it. I guess you've had experience living alone, haven't you? Me? Just moved out for college. Same as you. So we're in just the same situation, yet Eileen has everything so together that she can offer me help like this. Moreover, she's known so this entire time. I just sigh in defeat. College has really driven home how everyone's different. Sure has. We're working on Twofold. The VN this one is a prequel for... but this is our first released VN. Okay. The reason for the dreariness in her voice becomes apparent as I follow her gaze. Caprice happily bouncing out of the car and shutting the door as we stroll up. Everyone sure is different. Hey guys. The impromptu mechanic appears finished as well, righting herself and closing the hood after poking around inside. Yo, can we talk about how this young lady here showed up in like a white coat to do auto work? Like that's like a bold maneuver. I would just you're gonna stain that thing. She absentmindedly wipes the sweat off her forehead, leaving some grease. There it is. Oh shit! Wait, no. Oh, there you go. On her face before realizing her error. Maybe she took it off. Perhaps. Whoops. Well, it's fixed for now. Looks like the fuse went. Nothing major. I've done what I can out here, but it needs a proper fix back at the shop. This will get you going, though. Yeah, look at that hand, though. Can I stop villainifying? No, I can't, because she's doing it to herself. Eileen's impressed look is shared by me. Being so handy is a good trait to have, and she did come all the way here just to help us. I'm impressed. Fixed cars before? I was about to recommend taking it to my dad's auto shop, actually. Your dad's shop is as good as any other. I'll sort something out this afternoon. This is where I'd shake your hand in thanks, but you know. Millie gives a self-deprecating smile in response. Caprice passes her a handkerchief from her pocket, which Millie quickly uses to wipe her hands as best she can. Hey, since you're already here, I'll let you all get on with your art club adventure. I have other things I need to do. Sorry. Have fun. Have fun in hell, she says, steepling her fingers. Things that Key has published that you may have heard of. Oh, I recognize some of those words. I feel like Clanad I've definitely seen before. Did some of these have PS2 ports? Are these like old visual novels that would have had Japanese only PS2 ports? Some of those look familiar. They're old, okay. Oh, see, not too long ago I watched, there's a YouTube channel called Video Game Library that has these videos where they just give you like 8 seconds of game footage for like every game on a console. And of course, the one for PlayStation 2, there's over 4,000 games for PlayStation 2, so it's like several hours. But like a good like 5% it's just goddamn weird ass visual novels. Yeah, Moby Games is a very good resource for sure. With that, we give our farewells to Millie as she heads back towards her car. Her momentary, churlish grin towards the deflated Caprice doesn't go unnoticed. Ooh, achievement unlocked. A rivalry in the making. Eileen snatches her keys back from the girl's hand, wasting no time in addressing the both of us. A 2006 PS2 port, a 2011 PS3 port, a 2018 PS4 port, a 2019 Switch port. Damn. Why is the PlayStation 2 your arch nemesis? A PC port. Japanese PC ports are all borked. That's my official stance. Now are we finally going to the aquarium? Yeah. She beams brightly. She beams brightly. She beams brightly. Her smile proving infectious. Turning to me, Eileen's emerald eyes stare into my own, checking my reaction after the day's events. As rough as she might be, Eileen really does care about others. Okay, there's nothing older listed on Moby Games. It's classic in the medium, both VN and anime. Yeah, you know what was really... I need to talk about anime words for a second. So, today, there was a new Overboost episode, and it was an interview with Waifu, but I had been calling him like Waifu for most of the interview, which I guess is not how you're supposed to say that. I don't know. Is there a right or wrong pronunciation, really? Like, because in my mind, I'm thinking of the word waif. Like an orphan child. Waif University, where all the kids go to school. But apparently it's wait, is it waifu? Oh, waifu, or yeah, waifu. Okay. So I guess it's because it's like, yeah, like waifu and has, but anyway, I like opened up the interview with like my worst Philadelphia Val, being like, "Hey, waifu." I did not like own up to it, but like I've just been thinking about it. Eileen or Millie? I mean, I'm intrigued by Millie right now, just because she seems like a villain. So there's probably an interesting backstory. It's the English word wife fit into the Japanese phonetic system. Okay, that makes sense. So it is supposed to be waifu, but whatever. It's the dialect, all right? It's the Philadelphia dialect to say waifu instead of waifu. You heard it from me. With this, she gives one of those few smiles she dares give. It feels like a reward to see them, and I find myself wanting to see them more and more. Very commonly, a trailing U is silent in Japanese. Okay. Wait, what? Did I hit a button? Why am I at the title screen? Do I need to... Do I not need to use the save? Alright. So, okay, let's... Oh, this is a bug. Oh, I need to start a new game? Alright. Alright, so what's the fastest way to progress through? Wait. What is... You can just hold tab. What does holding tab do? So just tab and click. No, I think I think I get it now. I'm just holding tab and then clicking. That's what I'm doing. All right, folks, we're gonna catch up in a second here. How many sounds can I stack? That's the real question. We're doing QA now. I just need... How do I know it's in skip mode? Is it in skip mode now? Oh, that's good. That was good. Oh, go to settings. Options. Skip unseen dialogue. Do this. Okay. Well, we're trying to get caught up. I'll untick it when we when we get caught up. I'll untick it. Don't worry. Okay. All right, things are happening now. Just press tab once. Okay. I can't stop tabbing. Doctor, I have a problem. I can't stop tabbing. Do I need to press tab for each scene or just once? Try holding control. Oh, there you go. Okay. So we're almost caught up now. There's that scene. Well, I can probably get rid of the unseen dialogue thing now. Oh, no, wait. Where was I? Was here, right? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, smile. Okay, here we are. Okay, we're back. We're good. We are not speedrunning this. We're trying. The recent patch broke my save, and so I have to start. I had to start a new game to get back to where I was before. I lost a lot of time. It's really upsetting. I had to use an entirely new character build. I briefly wonder who is in the art room as I proceed along the second floor hallway. Well, less wonder and more hope. Caprice will be there. I've little doubt of that. But I'm starting to enjoy being around Eileen. Her paintings are so nice to see, and anytime I manage to make her warm to me feels somehow rewarding. Someone like Caprice smiles all the time, and the moment we sat beside each other in a biology lecture, my fate was sealed as she began chatting to me without prompting. While I don't mind that at all, finding her bubbly attitude uplifting, if a little overbearing, there's little about her that she keeps to herself. Is this Stream Daddy? No, this is... I feel like this is sort of as far away from that as we can get. So this is actually a neat thing. We are playing a visual novel. It's just a choiceless visual novel where we are and we have one of the devs here with us. Shizacular is a regular in the stream, also works on it. He had to explain to me that I apparently encountered a bug, and so I had to play through it. No big deal. We're all fine here. When Eileen gives praise or even just smiles, it feels genuinely earned. I think that's the difference. Upon reaching the door and opening it, the otherwise empty room is filled with the greetings of a certain loud girl. Sitting at a table with a sketchbook in front of her, she takes a brief break from her work. But yeah, so basically this is a visual novel, girls' love story. Yuri, I think is I'm told a genre name for it. I'm actually not very familiar at all with visual novels, so I'm sort of outside of my normal beat here to stream a visual novel like this. But I'm having fun. Story is definitely good. Characters are relatable. So, introduction to visual novels was Dang It, Ron Paul. Yeah, I've heard people like that. That series. I've watched a little bit of I Ate Your Pie play one of those once, and it seemed a little over the top, but like perhaps appropriate for what it was doing, for the setting and story. Please, would everyone please at Zion right now? Thank you. Sitting at a table with a sketchbook in front of her, she takes a brief break from her work. Good afternoon, Allison. Hi, you look cheerful as usual. I'm super ready for today's art club meeting. She pumps her fist as I walk in, earning a sincere if weary smile. I feel a little bad for my first reaction upon entering being disappointment, given her earnest sense of friendship with me. Shrugging it off, I pile my books onto another table and take a couple of pencils from the side of the table, which Caprice has commandeered. A glance at the sketchbook Caprice has been sketching in makes me stop in my tracks. I have to look up at her and back down again just to confirm that this was done by the same person. Her casual doodles were cute, but she has a real talent for this stuff now that I see her more serious work. I never really questioned how much Caprice has practiced her art now that I think of it. I'm a little chastened for underestimating how much effort she puts into this hobby. Motivated to try a bit harder myself, I take a seat and open one of my notebooks. Flipping to a mostly empty page, I ponder for a moment before setting about sketching a cat. Oh, speaking of cats, here we are. They were always a favorite subject to doodle. Ooh, we got the Carsey poos. You know, I have a confession to make. This might make me a mean person, but there was a period of time where I watched a lot of Carsey. Carsey's a great streamer, but I got to admit, the thing that always held me back from subscribing to Carsey was that I'm not really that into cats. I'm allergic to cats, so I didn't really want cat emotes. I was concerned that, maybe I'd be allergic to Twitch emotes. And so I was like, I better not subscribe and get cat emotes. Perhaps irrational, but I think that's definitely what my brain was like. Yeah, I'm allergic to cats, I don't hate cats. I'm not going to seek out a fight with cats. But, I am allergic, so, I usually don't approach them. You're allergic to trees, but they're still nice. I mean, that's true. All trees? I lose track of time as I start to get into it, trying to replicate Caprice's shading from memory. It's only when Caprice pipes up with another greeting that I take a break. Eileen strides through the doorway as I look up, giving a quick, perfunctory wave to the both of us. She looks barely awake, but given how tired she always looks, it's hard to say if it's any worse than usual. Birch and maple are the worst. Is it all the time, or is it a seasonal allergy thing? See, when someone said tree allergy, I just assumed tree nuts. Okay, so it's seasonal stuff. But yeah, I hear you. As I've gotten older, seasonal allergies have definitely gotten worse for me. Although I don't know if I necessarily have pegged it to specific plants. By the time it's October, I can just toss out my medication and I'll be good until April or so. Okay. Oh, so you're all throughout the summer. I feel like for me, it really just gets me in the spring. Like, I'm pretty okay summer, fall. All you gotta do is call. She looks barely awake, but given how tired she always looks, it's hard to say if it's any worse than usual. One of the reasons I prefer dogs over cats is when you step into a dog household, it smells like a warm, dusty dog bed. But if you step into a cat household, it smells like acrid cat piss. Wow. I mean, look, there was when I was in high school, I had a friend whose family had 6 cats, and the parents were also pot dealers. So the house, we always said the house smelled like cat weed because it just had this like absolutely like permanent odor of like concentrated like cat litter and and weed, just like more weed than you knew what to do with. So much weed that you would go to jail, which eventually the missus did. So as we exchange greetings and Caprice gets back to her sketching, Eileen's eyes fall on my notebook. Without breaking stride, she turns on the ball of her high boots to take a detour from her easel and peer at my work. That friend of mine I actually am not in touch with anymore. I hope he's doing well. He kind of exited from my social circles for self-inflicted reasons. But again, if you're out there, buddy, I hope you're okay. No idea. Eileen's figure looms above as she stands in front of me, fingers pressed to the top of my sketchbook. As she looks down, it conjures up feelings I haven't felt since middle school, as if a student shrinking before her teacher. Yeah, I mean, my car pretty much has dog smell now, but that's fine. That's whatever. Haven't done this in a while, have you? Sorry. Why are you apologizing? If you haven't, you haven't. You have the fundamentals right, at least, which only comes with practice. Her fingertip skates back and forth on the paper, pointing out this and that. Musculature looks off, but that's a pain at the best of times for animals. Try to draw from references instead of relying on what your mind thinks something looks like. A weight feels as if it's been lifted from my shoulders. It's not exactly high praise, but the fact she's willing to give me pointers feels like validation. Yeah, I mean, smelling like dog is a lot better than smelling like other dog smell. Oh yeah, the last time we took Diego to the vet, on like when we got him back in the car, cause like, so it's pandemic 2020, so we had to do like curbside pickup. So like we're in the parking lot and one of the techs comes out and gets Diego. And then, and then at the end, the tech brings Diego back out to us. And I don't know, like, what Diego did, but he, like, activated, like, the worst, most foul ass smell I've ever smelled off him. He must not have been happy, because he's like, you know what? All of the butt smell right now. It was awful. I think it's like I'm told it's like an anal gland thing or something, but this is what I'm not an expert in dog stuff, but explains it. More of a dog person myself, really. Ever had one? Would have been nice, but my parents weren't interested in the idea. Sounds like you and your parents don't get along very well. We don't. The pet thing's nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go into one of their approved careers, and I didn't. Oh, I thought it would be something more complicated. Sometimes things really are as simple as they seem. I'm sure things will work out eventually. That's nice. I open my mouth to respond, but the tone behind her words makes it clear that she considers this discussion over. The air goes cold between us, leaving me at a loss for words as my shoulders slump in defeat. All I meant to do was cheer her up. Yeah, I mean, they might have just put a thermometer in his butt, and that caused the issues. He's not a big fan. I mean, to be fair, is anyone a fan of the rectal thermometer? 50 minutes into the drive, I'm covered in vomit and physically preventing the puppy from tumbling into the footwall. Well, yeah. You don't like the sound of the rectal thermometer? Oh, yeah. As she steps over to another table and pulls off her coat, Caprice gleefully fills the awful silence with her bubbly voice. Hey, have you tried doing other stuff as well? What do you mean? You know, other kinds of art. There's oils, watercolor, pottery, fletching. I both paint and do sketch work, so it's not like you need to keep to one thing or another. I can get some pottery stuff if you want. Eileen barely restrains herself from rolling her eyes. By harassing the poor professor into giving you some kiln time and clay, it's not harassment, it's negotiating. I think I'll be fine for now. Eileen gives one final piece of advice as she turns towards the cupboard, taking advantage of the lull from Caprice focusing on her own work. Don't worry about her. Just keep at it. Practice might not make perfect, but it'll get you close. They generally do temperature readings with rectal thermometers to avoid people calling in sick without due reason. There you go. I'm sure Eileen means well with her efforts at teaching, but it's a vast change to the way I used to draw as a kid. And in high school, being a little more than the occasional scribble when an idea struck. Yeah, the ass smell was something else. It was, yeah, we opened the windows on that. Or at least the front windows. Barely having time to put pencil to paper, a clatter at the front of the room draws the attention of both Caprice and I. As Eileen fiddles, both of us get up to see what's happening. What's up? Standing at the old wooden cabinet at the front of the room, Eileen gives a couple more sharp tugs at the door, with all her usual gentleness, before turning to Caprice. The door to the cabinet's locked. Nah, they never lock it after class. She bounces over to Eileen and takes the handle in her grip, giving it several pulls at various creative angles in case it's jammed. After one last try, hard enough to have her feet slipping on the floor. Could you say that again? I didn't quite catch what you said. Well, it's because the car smelled, Xian. The smell was very powerful, and it was unpleasant. So it was, he kind of wanted to get away from it, to be honest. Could you say that again? Oh yeah. Could you? Pouty. Sorry, I was writing a Steam announcement for the save game bug. I mean, that is good. That's the correct thing to do. It's a good idea. As they face off, I take a look at the cabinet between them. It's a type of lock I've tried before and not particularly high end. Then again, I've never done this with two people peering over my shoulder. Oh, that's right. Allison's a hacker. An advanced, powerful hacker. As they both look to me, I realize there isn't any backing down now. Glancing at the door to make sure there isn't anyone listening in, I continue on. I could maybe try picking it. You can do that? Someone sure has a knack for skills that upstanding people shouldn't have. Well, Eileen's never played Thief Simulator. All I can do in response is wilt. Eileen's not exactly wrong. Even if I do like to think I only use such things when I should. We don't really have much of an option. Think you can do it? Was there lockpicking in Drug Dealer Simulator? I hope there was. Accepting my fate, I get up and hold my hand towards them. No, there wasn't? Okay. I'll need a couple of paper clips. Taking to my feet once more, Eileen and Caprice look more dubious than impressed. Well, did you get it? A little more confident than Caprice, her face having been plastered right beside the lock out of curiosity as I worked, I take a long breath and reach out to the handle, giving it a timid tug. The relief in the room is palpable as the old door creaks open, revealing shelf upon shelf of supplies. Awesome. Caprice gives a tight hug from behind in appreciation and excitement, leaving me to awkwardly laugh off the praise as Eileen starts taking her paints and brushes. I mean, Caprice is sunny. You are correct there, Xeon. As she rights herself and Caprice detaches herself from me, Eileen gives a couple of claps on the shoulder with her free hand. You did good. Where, or maybe I should say why, did you pick up skills like that? Oh, I just like learning things. Taking an interest in the conversation, Caprice leans back towards us. What kind of things? Other cool stuff like that? Just things. Schoolwork wasn't too hard, so instead of studying, I ended up teaching myself like how to pick locks and tinker with different machines to keep myself occupied. Have I played Disco Elysium? I have not, but you should know, Skiller, that Kosofsky's sub pick is Disco Elysium, so that could be on a poll in the not too distant future, as it turns out. Oh, I had just checking out this really cool Steam. All right, oh, so Diego's here. Woo, Diego. All right, anyway. It's the type of game that I'm interested in seeing but not playing, so I want to so I mean, it's already happening. It is probably on the way, so. And of course, if you want to make it your sub pick after New Vegas, then, you know, that'll also help too. Oh, you were looking at his ears? What a boy. Therefore, he is now upstairs. Yeah, Diego's concerned about his ears. Right, I figured you still wanted New Vegas more than Disco Elysium, but after New Vegas. Are you aware of how sketchy that sounds? It's not about doing bad things. They're just puzzles. The point is working them out, not getting free stuff. When I put it that way, I guess it is pretty useless to learn. That's pretty funny to be saying right now. Caprice nudges Eileen, who just raises an eyebrow. She makes a decent point. Hoping that no staff are around to notice what just happened, I throw the twisted paper clips into the bin before heading to my table as Caprice takes to hers, and Eileen sits herself at her easel. Without further ado, we each set to work. It's a nice atmosphere with the three of us working away at our own little projects. I'm not sure sketching cats in a notebook really counts as much of a project, but having friends around makes it somehow more meaningful. With winter setting in, I find myself settled in for the evening on the couch watching a movie on the television, a blanket draped over me to try and keep warm. Rose still isn't back from work, and with the garbage taken out and washing up done, it probably won't hurt to take things easy for the rest of the evening. A loud ping comes from beside me, my hand automatically reaching for the phone sitting on the couch in response. Probably Rose saying she'll be late, dooming me to microwave noodles for dinner again. Or perhaps not? I don't recognize the number or user avatar at all. Okay. I think this is clearly because Eileen didn't have a real phone, right? But like, here's the deal. Eileen secretly has a mad crush for Allison. So obviously Eileen has now gotten a phone and failed to take a picture of herself because she's bad at phones. I know how this works. This is storytelling. I briefly consider saying no, but that would be mean. I can barely make out their picture beyond what I think to be yellow hair. I don't even know any blondes besides Eileen and Millie, and the latter is unlikely to be messaging me. Yo, I wonder who could be then, Allison. Eileen? Wallace helped me set this thing up. What's with your profile pic? It took a photo when I was setting up. Find any nice apps yet? Any nice appetizers? I haven't tried looking. I don't really get it. I can't help but giggle a little. I'm happy she's making the effort when she made it clear she wasn't interested before. Is that it's more like a chick. I mean, I guess it could be a duckling. I think it's more just like a general chick, though. I'll help you with it tomorrow. It's because Allison's the chick. That would be good. Thanks. Sorry if I type slowly. This keyboard is. Does she actually? Oh my god. What if Eileen has like a BlackBerry? That would be hilarious. Or like one of those like phones with the sliding keyboards. I hope so. Practice makes perfect. I think she has a normal phone, but I want to imagine. Wanted to say sorry about the parents thing. I was too touchy. It's okay. Wasn't really my business. Life doesn't always have a happy ending. Things don't work out, and that's that. You still have to try, though. People are good. You just need to have faith. At least, that's what I think. I don't get you at all. I think it goes both ways. I see. Taken completely unawares, I leap off the couch and spin around, barely keeping a hold of the phone in my hand. When did you get in? Just now. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I let out a long breath to steady myself as my heart slowly returns to its normal pace. Rose just grins churlishly as she walks off to hang up her coat. No, Rose is too wild and free. She has too many thorns. Roommate's back. Catch you tomorrow. See you. Be seeing you, friendo. With that, I tap the side button to lock the phone once more, putting it on the counter beside me. You look happy. Does it feel tacky if your name is Rose and you get a tattoo of roses? Is that too literal? I don't know. I don't know. All I can do is grimace, my face becoming flustered from embarrassment at her bullying. Thanks to my cheeks mildly hurting, I can tell she isn't wrong. I mean it. Does me good to see you managing to get yourself a social circle and all. Maybe they're chrysanthemums. Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe I shouldn't give Rose too much credit. You were worried about me? Can you blame me? No guys around, no friends, always being so nervous. You've changed a lot. I guess Eileen was right. Everyone really is there for me. Rose isn't wrong either. I do have friends now, and the art club's starting to become a welcome little slice of familiarity in the campus. Caprice, Wallace, Eileen, everyone's really nice to me. Yet, it's Eileen I can't stop thinking about. Behind that cold exterior of hers, there's a genuinely kind person. What's with that face? Nothing. Gonna come eat or play with your phone all day? With the sun beginning to set, Eileen and I say our goodbyes to Caprice before heading out into the hallway. Calming Caprice down after she gets a bright idea feels like trying to stifle a shaken soda can after opening it. Tales of Berseria is at sale on PS4 for $9. I mean, it's a great. I think Tales of Berseria is the best Tales game. That's. Also, Yo Counterpill, how's it going? She might still be brimming with energy, but the two of us leave the art club's room utterly deflated. We should have just joined the normal art club, you know, the one which isn't led by a maniac. I wish I could get the two of them to see eye to eye more often. Caprice did say she's doing all this for Eileen's sake as much as her own, and she's far too straightforward to be lying about that. I'm taking a break from my normal jank game nonsense, playing a perfectly functional visual novel instead. It's been fun. It's a good story. I'm enjoying it. It's difficult to push back on Eileen, though, given how prideful a person she is. I seem to attract strong-willed friends. She is, a lot. She means well, though. Well, maybe it's not so bad if you're around to keep her occupied. For what it's worth, I was actually thinking this might be a fun little adventure. I wanted to thank you for making all of this work out. She makes an exquisitely awkward face, caught between my thanking her and the idea of having to share her room with us, and anyone else Caprice manages to rope in from now on. Yeah, that's fair. Taking a break after Ni no Kuni 2 is probably a good idea. Doing long RPGs back to back can get tiresome. I just smile as we start down the quiet hallway, Eileen taking a look out the window. Her gaze lingers for just that little longer than usual, the snow once again having started falling outside. I can't blame her, given how pretty it looks. Damn, gonna be shoveling snow again. What a pain. She really isn't the sentimental type. Did I say something wrong? I was just thinking, you don't seem to have a very romantic view of the world, being an artist. Is there much good about winter? Being back with family? All the pretty snow around? People in cute jackets and coats? Holidays? Allison, please connect the dots. I end up trailing off, Eileen hardly looking swayed as I count my favorite things about the season on my fingers. Cherry blossom tea. Yo, you know what was really good? A few months ago, this when the pandemic first started, there was this really foodie restaurant near us that started doing takeout regularly when they normally didn't have takeout. And they would also do really weird stuff. And one week they had cherry blossom ice cream of like a real, with like cherries and, the cherry flavoring and cherry petals. So it was like a whole little like cherry blossom sundae. That was good. It was like maybe the best cherry thing I've ever had. It was outstanding. Holidays are the problem. Everywhere is starting to close up or shut down for the new year already. I want to keep practicing instead of loafing around, but the life drawing classes are over and all the student modeling offers have dried up. I have seen notices for those on the notice boards around campus, with students and others making a little cash on the side by modeling for artists. Those same notice boards have become much more bare over the last month. I feel sorry for her, given she takes her painting so seriously. I was so caught up in wanting to be back with my family that I didn't think about how it'd be for her, especially when she doesn't get along with hers. As we walk along the hallway, I realize this might present an opportunity, a chance for me to help Eileen and be a part of her painting, instead of simply watching her from afar. I'm not completely sure about this, but my obvious scheming has already caught Eileen's eye. If it'd be helpful, I mean, maybe I could do it? Well, yes. Yes. I should have said it out loud, but Icy said it, and that's correct. Just model. I'm a dummy. At this, Eileen stops and turns to me. Should I not have suggested this? You just need me to stand around and be a model, right? There's not a lot to it. This would be live modeling, you know. I don't want to give you the wrong idea. The reminder does make me hesitate. I know there's nothing sexual about it, but I'd be standing without clothes on as she alone looked at me, analyzing my whole body. Eileen herself doesn't look fussed, though she rarely does. She seems content to let me come to a conclusion myself as she stands about. But my body language soon gives away what I'm thinking. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable. I can just work on other studies instead. No, I mean, she did mention herself that she's done this before. It'd simply be another method of practicing painting for her. Yeah, I think that's what's meant by live modeling. Would it be in your apartment or something? Yeah. She looks mildly surprised I'm still considering this. If it was anyone else, I don't think I could do this. For Eileen, though, it's fine. I'll do it. We set down our coats as we enter her apartment, the bright light giving such a different look to her living room compared to mine. As for Eileen herself, I don't get how she isn't exhausted at all after a walk like that from school. But try as I might to distract myself, something feels off no matter how I try to ignore it. Painting live models is probably totally normal for an artist like Eileen. So I don't bother saying anything as she sets down her coat. Want a drink or something? I'm fine, thanks. Suit yourself. I'll grab my stuff, just make yourself comfortable. She walks off to get her easel and paints as I nod. Without much else to do as she disappears into another room, I idly look around while taking off my own coat and gloves. Her apartment hasn't been cleaned up this time, which is an interesting change. Beyond the easel, with a finished painting still sitting on it, a few colorful fashion magazines lie on the coffee table near a mug left sitting around. On the couch, a couple of crumpled t-shirts and an old pair of jeans lie strewn over the back and arm. What watches my eye most, however, is the resident who looks very comfortable on the other end of it. Without thinking, I walk over and pick him up. A particularly large stuffed rabbit. Big enough to need two hands to hold comfortably. Though well made and adorably designed, it's obviously a little well loved by now. Hey Diego, there's a rabbit on screen. Nah, he doesn't care. Alright, I had to check. I'm sure I'd have noticed such a thing if I were around when... I'm sure I would have noticed such a thing if it were around when Wallace and I came for dinner. So it must have been stuffed into her bedroom or something. Noticing movement out of the corner of my eye, I turn and look up. Well, I don't want to assume it's a typo, and usually at this point my reaction is just to, I don't know, insert a word that makes it make the most sense. That does seem like it was a typo, though. Eileen simply stares at me, face flat, as she holds a bag of supplies in her hand. I really shouldn't have just gone and started fiddling with her stuff. Sorry. It's really cute. She puts her bag down and sighs, giving me a bit of relief that she isn't angry. Silently, she strides over and takes the toy from me as I offer it to her. My sister gave it to me to keep me company when I moved out. I'm disappointed by how little emotion's in Eileen's voice when she says so, but those thoughts quickly disappear as she gently sets down the rabbit where it had been. She takes care to set it down gently with a quick brush of its fur. Oh, the other day, I was walking Diego, and we walked past a house that had like a red frog statue in front of it, and like the frog's like the size of like a basketball, so like kind of like a lawn ornament type thing. And Diego noticed it and just like, what? And just like, you know, full on Italian Spider-Man, like, what is that? And then he smelled it and he's like, oh, it's fake. Never mind. That momentary smile as she steps back and looks at it warms my heart. It only lasts for a second, but her face is unmistakably that of a child, one taking care of their favorite companion. So Eileen does have a cute side to her. I somehow feel a bit less wound up about everything now. She's not that different to me in the end. Grandma has one of those on her porch, but it's better because it is a loud-ass ribbit speaker. That's pretty good. As she turns away, I remember the task at hand. So I'll just set up the easel and canvas, then I'll have everything ready. Should I take my clothes off then? She's about to answer before pausing for a moment. Much as I might try to stifle my awkwardness, undressing in front of someone else is still weird. If it's a problem, you can grab a towel. I can make do. Feeling more than a little sheepish, I glance around to be more sure of my surroundings. The blinds are shut as they were before, and the door is still locked, so I'm not sure what I expected. Maybe the silence is putting me off. The apartment being set so far back the road, unlike mine. I want to say that I'm fine, but I can't quite get over the stumbling block of being bared in front of someone. Meeting halfway will have to do for now. As Eileen sets her previous painting on the kitchen counter, I pop into the bathroom. My heart's practically in my mouth as I reappear in the room with a towel wrapped around me, precious little being covered as I take my place before her. Oh yeah, I see there's a fake cat she keeps on top of the piano. Should I stand like this, or? She looks at me for a few moments in serious thought. It's a little interesting how quickly her demeanor changes to that of a painter, carefully considering how best to use my body as an artistic prop. Try turning around so your back is toward me. My thoughts are in a haze, unable to let go of how exposed I am. All I can do is nod and dutifully do as she says. Yep, that's good. Keep your head like that, and maybe let your arms hang down. This is a good tune. I feel like it's definitely meeting the moment. Like this? Yeah, just stay like that. I give a nod, trying to relax as much as I can. That isn't saying much though. There's no other sound in the room as she starts sketching me out, the pencil's sharp scratching filling the air. It's certainly an odd experience to think somebody's looking at my body so analytically, taking in every detail, considering it, and copying it to canvas. For Eileen's sake, I try to keep as still as possible despite the butterflies in my stomach. Her pencil work apparently finished, the gentle sound of brushstrokes starts as her painting begins in earnest. She's fast at her sketching. I suppose she'd have a good bit of practice at this. I can't see much at all with my head slightly down like this, but at least this position is easy to keep. Without anything in particular to focus my eyes on, I can't help but turn my thoughts inward. How do people do this without getting self-conscious? Nobody's ever looked at my naked body like this, carefully analyzing every curve and muscle. I wonder how I look to her right now. Am I gross? Compared to Eileen, I probably look plain at best. Hey, I know it's not easy, but can you try not to tense up so much? I glance back at Eileen. Our eyes meet, and I force myself to face forward again, resuming my pose. Sorry. It's okay, not too much longer. Her expression was so focused and analytical, I sometimes forget that serious artwork can take so much knowledge and logic as well as creativity. I really am just an art prop for her. Hey, educator. Gonna watch some Netflix? Yeah, get to it. Thank you for stopping by in the 5 bits. That's good. If I remember that, this isn't so bad. Eileen's done this plenty of times, and I can trust her. I was the one who offered anyway. The reason I did this was to help her, and now I can finally be a part of her true passion of painting. I feel the corners of my mouth tug a little at the idea. It makes me feel a little special that she's looking at me this way. While she's no doubt done life drawing before, this is something different. Only now do I realize that Eileen's brush strokes have ceased. Just as I work up the will to question her, Eileen speaks up. All right, you can move now. A weight comes off me as my entire body slumps, a long breath escaping my lips. It feels like my entire body deflates. Thankful that my duty has been fulfilled, I adjust the towel a little to ensure it doesn't slip off. My first thought is to go to where I've carefully placed my clothes, but on the way I'm distracted by the sight of it. I'm left speechless. I have to resist the urge to reach out and touch it. This is how Eileen sees me. Not gross, nor plain. I feel my heart sting a little as my eyes move across the canvas, seeing through Eileen's eyes how she sees me. As I stand gazing at the painting, I feel a coat come over me, Eileen draping it over my shoulders. I'm about to thank her before the words are stolen from my mouth by her different demeanor. Compared to her intense focus while painting, her gaze awkwardly avoids my appreciative expression. All I can do is smile as I clasp the coat tight, the bashful Eileen standing in silence beside me. It's beautiful. The streetlights lead us along as we walk along the snow-dusted street, their pinpricks of light piercing the evening's darkness. Above us, there is nothing above but the stars above. Prepare for down count. The two of us walk side by side without a word, the only sound being snow crunching underfoot. Far from the silence being oppressive, I'm rather glad that we don't need to fill the air with idle conversation. With our classes finished, I offered to repay her for the dinner she had made for me. Hardly one to turn down a free meal, she readily accepted. It's not like that excuse to bring her over was a lie as such, or at least that's what I tell myself. In truth, I want to be closer to Eileen. As I throw furtive glances to her, I muse about how the times we're together feel different to when I'm with others. Her earnest yet clumsy attempts to help me feeling all the more rewarding. I'm not sure, but I don't think these feelings are just friendship anymore. You're lucky to live so close to school. I still have no idea how you can hike all the way to your place every single day and not be exhausted. That's what happens when you don't whip out a walking. Being fit has its advantages. While I stop myself from imagining how fit Eileen's body is, I'm reminded that she has seen my own body. I cringe in embarrassment as I remember modeling for her the other day, trying to shake off the feeling before she notices. Eventually, we reach the now familiar apartment building, the two of us stopping a moment. I'm a little surprised myself at how quickly I came to think of this place as home, the ill-maintained building feeling so foreboding at first. Everything here is so different to home, right down to the street lights we stand under. Gone were the modern white lights of downtown and the suburbs, replaced by dull orange lamps which occasionally flickered. Well, here it is. I'm more than a little nervous about what she thinks of this new home after bringing her all the way here. Rather than judging me for it, she looks more to be carefully studying it. My nervous attempts to read her stoic gaze get me nowhere. Looks nice. So, what's your roommate like anyway? Haha, no sooner do the words leave her mouth than she jumps from a hand latching tightly onto her shoulder. I didn't even notice her in the darkness. She must have been having a smoke outside when she saw us. Yo. Yeah, every day. As we sit at the dinner table, Eileen's gaze has trouble staying on us. I know those eyes well. They are those of a tourist, taking in everything around them while desperately trying to engrave it in memory, or perhaps in order to judge my living conditions. I have to admit, this must look a bit shabby compared to her home. She's surely worked out that I'm not exactly well off from the area already, though. Compared to Eileen's apartment, ours is full with the artifacts of life. A couple stuffed animals, some movie posters and DVDs around the place, an aging console next to the television, and various bits and bobs accumulated through the years litter the room. Eileen's eyes pass over it all, but she stays unusually subdued. Perhaps the reason isn't the room itself, but the person sitting across from her. So this is where you live, huh? Sorry if it's a bit cold, the heating's having problems. You mean having problems as usual. There goes trying to put on a front. I know it doesn't look great from the outside, but we try to keep the place nice to live in. Fixing leaks, giving the place a lick of paint, patching holes, and all that. Gets Allison a crash course in handiwork, too. It isn't much, but it's home. That's gotta count for something, right? It does. You've done a good job on making this place homely. You never told me you were this good at science and math, Allison. No wonder it seems so easy for you. She gestures towards the trophy on the side table and certificate on the wall above it, being awards from competitions I won in high school. You never asked. What, seriously? Allison, come on. I earn a playful clip over the head, Eileen snorting in amusement. She was good enough to get a science scholarship thanks to that brain of hers. Never having been great at knowing how to respond to praise, I just hang my head. Feels a little embarrassing to be complimented in front of Eileen. Makes sense. She's got me out of a jam a few times now. She's a handy person to have around. I feel myself flower into a blush at the words, sinking lower into my chair as my face feels hot. I'm surprised how nice it feels, despite being so awkward. A smile spreads on my face as my legs sway beneath the table with unexpected energy. It feels different when it comes from Eileen. Thanks for the food, by the way. It's nothing Nice to finally meet someone from Allison's side of the fence for a change, actually. I was starting to get worried that she didn't have any friends. I could only bring my hand to my face as Eileen raises an eyebrow in pointed interest. I do wish Rose wouldn't make such a big deal out of my being shy. Really? Not exactly the outgoing type, I guess. I'm shocked. She takes a large sip of the soda before her continuing on. There's a few of us in her little circle now, no thanks to her dragging me into a club. You agreed to come. It's Caprice's club anyway. Oh, so now you have nothing to do with it. This is a new story. All I can do is grimace as Eileen lifts an eyebrow, getting the rise out of me that she wanted. She softens the blow a little with a small nudge from her shoulder, earning a smile from Rose. Eileen gives a mighty yawn, poorly hidden by a hand over her mouth. I don't think I've seen her bother trying to hide one before. Sorry. Tired? I'm always tired. What's with the bags under your eyes anyway? Rough night? Insomnia. It's fun stuff. Here I was trying to be tactful and not bringing that up. And Rose just kicks down the door as usual. That does give some context to Eileen's short fuse, though. I shouldn't jump to conclusions. Well, they say good, wholesome food can fix that. Hopefully this will pick you up a bit. Nothing says homemade like burgers and fries, after all. Time for a steamed hams joke. Steamed hams, but it's first snow. As the two talk, I quietly begin on my food. I hadn't realized how empty I was, the fries disappearing into my mouth at a quick pace. Thank goodness for having a good metabolism. Someone's hungry. Steamed jams? I look up quizzically at her, drawing a raised eyebrow. It's only now I realize my cheeks are as full as a chipmunk's. Good to see you two get along well. Rose takes a hold of my shoulder and gives a playful shake, my head bobbing to and fro as I try to avoid choking on the fry on its way down. Allison's fine, quiet as a mouse, and manages to put up with my crap. Considering how much she takes care of chores and errands, I can't really complain. Yeah, see you later, Archie. Thanks for hanging out. You mean considering how nice of a person I am, right? That too. The three of us munch away in our food, the quiet sound of cars outside and prattling from the television providing what little noise there is to be heard. Seems like Eileen is starting to settle, which is a relief. Took me a while myself when I first met Rose. Surprised you two can keep your figures eating this kind of stuff. You don't have it often, do you? Rose and I share a quick glance. No, not at all. Not often, just special events. There we go, falling afoul of Eileen's judgment. Should just get a rice cooker, buy rice in bulk, grab some vegetable packets, throw them together. Easy, cheap, healthier than takeout. Yeah, it actually has the link this time. I fixed it. Bye, Diego. I have to admit, it was nice when I dated a guy who could cook. Having her around doesn't make things too awkward when you bring guys over. You learn to be quiet. I guess you would. I frown at the both of them. I don't want to hear about this. If you didn't know already, that means I've been doing a good job. Rose's comment only causes my frown to deepen. I can feel myself blushing just from the topic of conversation, which just embarrasses me more. Besides, if you ever get a boyfriend, you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn too, if you want to bring him around here. I won't be doing anything like that. Rose laughs, and even Eileen looks amused. I sulk, hating that the attention has been centered on me now. I especially don't want this kind of conversation around Eileen. Thankfully, Rose seems content with her teasing. So, what's your story? You're a friend of Allison's, right? Turned out that way. Just another student at the community college, majoring in art. The artsy type, huh? Going for the big bucks, then. Thanks. I'm sure you'll find something. Hopefully not involving burgers and fries. Eileen's limits are clearly being tested, being less tolerant of being poked at than I. Hopefully, Rose realizes it. You seem like the artsy type yourself. What's with all the ink? Eileen motions to her Rose's left side while brandishing a French fry, the tattoo on her upper arm only made more noticeable by her tank top. Looks cool. Uh-huh. Expected it to be my life story or something? That was my first... Wait, nope, forget what I said. I'm in the Yakuza, and they gave me these as my initiation. Okay. Nothing says Yakuza like a biker in Middle America. As Rose's chest heaves with lighthearted laughter, I find myself smiling as well. I'm glad the two get along, though a little part of me wishes I could be like Eileen. It took me months to warm up to Rose, yet Eileen gets on with others so smoothly. Standing out in front of the apartment once more, we say our goodbyes for real this time. Even if she pointedly refused Rose's later offer of transport, at least she'll be going home on a full stomach. Yeah, there's no music right now. It's just ambient background noise. It's really quiet. I didn't actually mute the game at all. The music just stopped there. It's an odd atmosphere. It's time to say our goodbyes, especially given the night's chill having set in. But neither of us quite want to say the words. Yeah, the fact that it went silent, like right when she said I'm in the Yakuza, I was like, all right, well, guess this is my cue to play Homicide Chat. When you said you had a roommate, that's the last kind of person I expected you to be shacked up with. Rose is nice, once you get to know her. She's a family friend, so I guess you could say I got this apartment through connections. Eileen's not really wrong, though. Ever since starting at community college, I've gone from having a couple of very alike friends at high school to an increasing menagerie of odd characters. The way Eileen looks as she gazes at the building catches me off guard. It's hardly the comfortable existence she seems to have. Rose and I pretty much eking out a living with what scraps we get, yet she looks so wistful. You really have a nice thing going, don't you? Yeah, I guess so. If you ever want to visit again, you're definitely welcome. She gives an amused snort and a smile. I'll have to take you up on that sometime. Moments tick by as the two of us stand out on the sidewalk, neither quite knowing what to say next. I want her to stay around some more to talk to, but I know it's already getting late. Idly thinking over our dinner together for something to talk with her about, one particular part of the conversation keeps sticking out. Replaying it in my head, I can feel my face going red before I can cover it with my hands. Yeah, well, yeah. I think that's definitely Wallace isn't actually her roommate. Wallace just sort of shows up. Right? I didn't think Wallace was actually her roommate. What's wrong? I can't believe Rose was talking about that kind of stuff, even though you just met her. Sorry about that. It's all right. I'm the one who brought it up. That's right. You're just as bad. I gave her shoulder a firm tap, immediately feeling conscious of the gesture. I pull away from her and look elsewhere, fuming away in my embarrassment. Eileen rocks back and forth between her heels and the ball of her feet to pass the time while I recover, hands not quite knowing what to do. Eventually, thankfully, Eileen breaks the silence between us. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm glad to have been over tonight. Why? To be honest, I had you pegged as some spoiled little delicate flower when I first met you. You know, the kind who coasts along on their parents' attention before the real world punches them in the face. It looks like you have your life pretty sorted, though. You've got a good head on your shoulders, friends, and a cool roommate. You've managed to scratch together a pretty decent life for yourself. She just gives a long breath, rocking back and forth on her feet as she tries to put some words together. I want to thank her for the kind words, but I'm left speechless after such a warm-hearted appraisal of my current world. I don't really know what to say now. I guess I feel a bit dumb for lecturing you so much. It's fine, really. My frantic brushing off of the idea puts the both of us on the back foot. Smiling, with that wonderful rare smile of hers, she seems to accept the situation. Before I can say anything more, the blonde girl turns to begin the long walk back home. Without looking back, Eileen simply raises her hand into the air as she strolls off down the road. She's as confident as ever. Things just happen around me, and I worked problems out as they occurred. Is that really worth respect? It feels strange to have someone I admired to turn that right back on me. I feel my heart sting as her figure gets smaller in the dark night sky. But there's nothing I can say or do, just watch her go. And here comes Diego. The cold night's breeze wafts past the balcony, my thin jacket doing little to stop it. The only noise to be heard is the odd car rushing down the street through the darkness, or snippets of muffled music from neighboring apartments. Moments like this are nice, circumstances aside. Just being able to be alone with my thoughts without the distraction of others. That said, I already have my answer to what had been on my mind. That was the real point of this dinner, after all. When I modeled for her, I wanted to be a part of something that was important to Eileen. Even before then, I wonder if the times I tried to get closer weren't out of friendship alone. What I felt as I watched Eileen walk away was all the confirmation of my feelings I needed. A dark figure suddenly appears, taking no heed of my surprise, as it leans against the balcony beside me. As I compose myself once more, the familiar acrid smell passing my nose tips me off before my eyes do. Don't scare me like that. Hey, I called out. Not my fault you were daydreaming. Her mention of it brings all my worries flooding right back. Hardly wanting to look at Rose while thinking about all this, I turn back and try to ignore her as best I can. Rose mentioned how I should think about finding a partner sometime while in college. My parents too, and even my high school friends before I came. I was content to focus on school and keep such complications out of mind until my life was all set up and ready. College has already set me right on that account. Life doesn't go on hold until you're ready to face it. Rose simply blows a puff of smoke, a thin stream passing her lips and disappearing into the night sky. I try to keep my mouth shut, but the smell proves too much for me as I bring my hand to my face. That's terrible. You're the one who banishes me here, remember? I hate to admit it, but she does have a point. Rose stubbornly makes a point of taking a puff of her cigarette, but soon notices that something is amiss. Come on, out with it. What's on your mind? It'd be easy enough to wave her off. One of the things I like about Rose is that she knows when to step back, and this is the kind of thing plenty of people keep private. But somehow, even if I haven't told Eileen how I felt, I kind of want someone else to know. I think I like someone. I watch her reaction with the best attempt I can muster at casual interest. I'm surprised by how unsurprised Rose is. After a tortuously long time, she finishes her puff of the cigarette and takes it from her mouth. You had the look of someone with that on the mind. It's that Eileen girl, right? My mind blanks. She picked that up herself? She isn't taken off guard by my liking a girl at all? The knot of anxiety I hadn't even noticed forming inside of me suddenly twists and turns. The expected spluttering explanation suddenly not needed. I psyched myself up so much, only for it to go nowhere. The silence between us continues as Rose patiently waits for me to respond. It's just, what's supposed to come after saying that? I didn't think you knew about Eileen, or, you know. Well, I mean, kind of hard to ignore what's in front of your face, you know. Seeing you two together, it all clicked. You don't think I'm weird? Apparently feeling a little more sure of what to say, she gives a disarming smile. Believe me, I am not in any position to call someone weird. Yeah. Hey, that's not that you're supposed to say. She elbows me in response to my mostly unintentional bite back. With the situation diffused, I managed to calm down a little. Just saying, I like her makes my thoughts feel all the more real, my heart skipping a beat as I repeat the words in my mind. Rose thinks to herself a little before snuffing out her cigarette on the ashtray and looking at me squarely. I mean, typos happen. It'd be like that. There are lots of words. Sorry, I shouldn't be so flippant when you're all worked up. I get that coming out can be hard. For what it's worth, I really appreciate that you trust me so much. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of words. The warm smile on her face proves infectious, all tension from the air fading away. I hardly mind, now that I've managed to unwind a little. I get the feeling she's stumbling through this herself. Minutes go by with only the passing of cars beneath us for noise. Both of us savoring the peacefulness of the winter's night. At loose ends, I lean against the balcony railing and finally break the silence. What should I do? I don't think that's something I can decide for you. Just remember, you're still young. So you don't think it'll work out? I'm not saying that. Just take it easy, all right? Relationships are a pain in the ass. This isn't what I hoped Rose would say at all, but that doesn't mean she's wrong. I thought love was supposed to feel happy and warm, but I feel more nervous than anything else. Welcome to relationships. Falling for someone is easy. It's what comes next that's hard. Her disarming smile at least puts me a little more at ease. Glad I have Rose here for me. In many ways, I feel like we can't relate to each other, but we can still have this kind of conversation and understand each other. We're just two girls talking about love. You're a good girl, Allison. I promise that whatever happens, you can call on me, okay? Thanks. But, you know, things do work out. You're still going to have to learn how to be quiet for my sake if you bring her around. Rose. While I'd had my doubts, the city workers managed to get the Christmas tree in the city's main square finished, just on schedule for the first day of December. Its oversized tinsel and baubles gleam happily in the morning's light, proudly announcing the coming holiday. Those are very bulbous bulbs. More bulbs. More bulbs. Yeah, you need a cherry picker to get them bulbs up there. Rose takes my pause in the middle of the city square as an excuse for a break, setting down her bags as I look up to the huge tree before us. It's not the tree that's most interesting, so much as the crowd around us. Everyone walks to and fro just a little faster than normal walking speed, hurrying from shop to shop while hardly even glancing at the Christmas tree looming over everything. I think I read something once about feeling alone, even in a crowd. So many faces pass by, from couples holding hands, to businessmen, to groups of friends, yet I feel more disconnected than when I'm actually alone. The clicking of a lighter next to me reminds me of my companion, the cigarette now perched in the corner of her mouth, glowing brightly. Oh, McCaw's playing SNES stuff? I'll probably hop over there soon. Probably another half hour. Shame we couldn't park closer. Maybe we should put up our own Christmas tree. Hey, I got a tree for us a few days ago. I was the one who bought that. It's also like a foot tall. Oh, yeah. The cigarette perched in her mouth tilts downward as she looks at me, her smile turning just a little less cheerful. Missing holidays at home, are you? A bit. She clamps onto my shoulder and gives me a firm shake. Hang in there. I might not be much company, but at least you've got someone around. Were you homesick when you first moved out from home? Given the circumstances, no. I don't think you appreciate how lucky you are sometimes. Wandered straight onto that landmine. Rose has never talked about her immediate family in the few months I've known her, so maybe I should have taken the hint. Piss off, Winter. With a dissatisfied puff, she puts out her cigarette on a nearby bin lid before flicking it in with a practiced motion. Taking her bags up once more, we continue the slog back to the bike. Chin up, eh? I was going to say this later, but I bought your favorite while you weren't looking. Strawberry trifle? You know it. Just a thanks for pulling your weight a bit more. It's nice to see you getting yourself together. Just as I'm about to thank her, a loud ping comes from my pocket. A little sheepish, I take my phone from my pocket to check what the message is. Wow. Wow, trust no one. Behind you. Confused, I stop walking and turn about. Eileen holds her hand high as she walks slowly up the street, slipping her phone into her pocket as she arrives. I'm happy to see her, but something makes me hesitate. Something Rose picks up on, going by her churlish grin. I know full well I've fallen for Eileen. My stomach tying itself into knots at the sight of her makes me realize that asking her out will have to come sooner rather than later. She's even interested in girls, that is. Trying to put my worries out of mind as best I can, I do my best to act normal. You've sure been getting some use out of that phone. Starting to see the appeal of these things, yeah. Morning, Rose. Sup? Just out for a walk? The apartment gets stifling after a while. Not interrupting anything, am I? When she puts it like that, she sounds far older than she should. In fact, given she didn't own a smartphone, likes simple walks alone, and spends her days painting, I'm starting to doubt the girl I fell for is really my own age. As the two strike up a casual chat, I remember how Eileen and I came to meet, being pushed into the club, taking chance after chance to come closer to her in hopes of spending more time together. It's only that persistence which gained me her friendship. My heart begins to beat as I talk myself into the plan forming in my head. Pushing myself got me this far. Perhaps if I could take one more step. Hey, Rose, can I leave these with you? Sure, I'll see you later. If you need a pickup, just call. Before I can so much as thank her, Rose quickly starts the work of strapping the shopping bags to her bike. It'll probably be easier to get everything without me on the back anyway. Eileen and I give our goodbyes to her as we walk on, Rose waving us off. As we go, I think I see a small grin on her face. I guess she worked it out. Once again, we're alone with each other. My stomach twists and turns as I desperately try to find some small talk to fill the air with. Not that Eileen looks fussed about it at all. Buried in thought, I barely register us moving through the old wrought iron gates and into the city park. The water in the pond lies nearly still, the ducks lazily bobbing about with the odd flap of their wings to shake off the snow. The normally rustling branches of the trees stay silent as they gather falling snow, green slowly turning to white. With everybody in town busy shopping, all that's to be heard as we walk along the wide paths are our footsteps on freshly fallen snow. Do you come here much? Yeah, every so often. Nice to just think to myself a bit without being cooped up. You? Only when I was younger. I like to feed bread to the ducks. I feel like I should have guessed that answer from you. All I can do is pout as she gives a smug smile at my expense. Even as we walk on through the otherwise empty park, I can feel my eyes lingering on her. That difference between us is probably what drew me to her now that I think about it. I've never felt like this towards anyone else before, but I know my feelings are genuine as I gaze at her. If she spends Christmas with her family, I won't get to see Eileen again until classes start in the new year. Telling her what I feel might ruin everything, but I don't want this to linger like a hanging thread. If she can push herself towards her goals, then so can I. As I come to a stop, the ceasing of my footsteps on the crushed snow making Eileen turn towards me. As her eyes fall to mine, my heart begins to race. I'm instantly filled with doubts. But now it's too late. I've psyched myself up so much that it is surely showing. All my life, others have helped push me forwards. Now I have to do something for myself. Eileen taught me how I have to do that. Eileen, I wanted to tell you something. With my voice shaking and the hand clutching my other arm tightly out of nervousness, I take a long breath to clear my mind and sort out the words in my head. I ball my fists as I feel my hands shaking. After spending my whole life with such a big family, this was the first time I've ever tried to live by myself. I was really lonely at first and didn't really know what was going on. But recently, I realized that loneliness hasn't been around. I've met so many wonderful people and had so many nice experiences. Now I'm looking forward to every day and what fun things might happen. A lot of that is thanks to you. So I wanted to thank you for helping me. This isn't exactly poetry so far, but I think I'm getting my feelings across right. Eileen simply looks at me, accepting the praise with only a touch of confusion. Well, thanks. It's nice to be appreciated like that. It's more than that, though. I mean, I first thought it was just friendship, but why can't I be more confident than this? My throat feels like it's closing as my nerves get the better of me. And it only gets worse the more I try to speak. I'm so busy reading Eileen's expression that I lose track of what I'm saying. I try desperately to force something out, but no words come to me. Looking at her face, though, I don't think the rest needs to be said. We just look at each other silently, the winter's snow falling between us. She looks gentle somehow. Stepping forward, she looks down at my blushing face. From here, I can see the faint red in her cheeks clearly. I can't think of anything else, just that gentle, calm face that I've never seen her wear before. After a moment's hesitation, Eileen brings her hands forward, grasping my shoulders delicately. And then, as she leans down, everything stops. I reflexively gasp in surprise as her soft lips press gently to mine, but it ends up stifled. With my body utterly frozen, I find myself completely in the grasp of the girl holding me, her breath tingling against my face. The sound, the smells, everything beyond Eileen and I falls from my consciousness. All that's left is this wonderful warm feeling flowing through my entire body. Minutes, seconds. I have no idea how much time passes. I just know that I don't want it to stop. Eventually, sadly, Eileen's lips part from mine. Straightening herself as she steps back, Eileen takes a long, shuddering breath as I stare dumbstruck at her wildly blushing face. The feeling of Eileen's lips pressed to mine replays endlessly in my confused mind, clouding everything else. Eileen, The air between us falls quiet. Eileen left waiting for a reply as I stand in a silent daze. Simple shock is one part of it, but far from all. Eileen is not only interested in women, but also in me. I feel like my heart could burst from the relief. It's only now that I see her fidgeting, playing with her hair and unable to quite stand still. I wonder how long that's been going on unnoticed. It makes me realize she's as unfamiliar at the situation as I am. Neither of us knows what we're supposed to do or say right now. Here I was trying to explain my feelings when Eileen rushes ahead and does something brash like that. Overcome with my own flood of emotions and confusion, it's Eileen who ends up having to reluctantly move things forward. Sure, hope I didn't misinterpret that. Her attempt to play off her nervousness is betrayed by her blushing. I finally realize just why she's so uncomfortable right now. She's left herself vulnerable. It's the first time I've seen her exposed like this, her feelings plain to see. I didn't know you felt that way. I entertained the idea, I guess. I didn't ever think you'd be the one to make the first move. So you'll go out with me? No, I just kissed you for the sake of it. Of course I will, you dolt. Guess we're in this thing together now, huh? For all she tries to play things cool, it's obvious Eileen's as awkward about this as I am. The only reply I can muster, and perhaps the only one needed, is the smile. A loud yawn fills the living room, the droning of the television briefly overshadowed. The scene couldn't be more normal. Rose, lounging about on the couch watching the morning news. The sounds of traffic outside heading off to work, and me, stumbling around pulling on the last of my clothes as the morning's lessons loom. Oh, does it? Oh. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. All right. Well, there you go. Well, as I said, my plan is probably to go to 10:30, so we'll see where I am by then. One thing is different now, though. Just thinking about what happened last night makes my heart race, but I have no idea what's supposed to happen after something like that. What happens when I see Eileen again? How close am I meant to be with her now that we're going out? Then there's the kiss itself, playing over and over in my mind. The feeling of her soft lips on mine, the way she looked so flustered afterwards. Ow. A sharp pain from my shin brings me back into the real world, bending down to rub my poor leg, revealing the cause to be walking into a chair. The feeling of embarrassment isn't helped by Rose looking over in concern. You okay? It's nothing. Just bumped my leg. Not sick or something, are you? You're even more clumsy than usual today. I'm fine. Just didn't sleep much last night. It's times like this that normally being a morning person doesn't pay off. I shrug off her concern as best I can, distracting myself by throwing on my clothes to prepare for the chill outside. Just take it easy, all right? The ice is bad enough out there already. I will. The walk down the road towards campus does me good, giving time for my mind to settle and get back to the daily routine. Not everything is quite the same, though. My footsteps feel light, and what's typically an arduous walk feels unusually easy. Product. I'm not quite dancing in the streets, but the day just feels a little brighter than usual. It's nice. The snowfall has been getting heavier now that it's December. I pass a few people standing outside buildings while looking mournfully at their roofs, plotting how to dislodge the snow piled on top. The traffic's also slowed to a crawl, rolling by carefully. Ads for Christmas sales on television are into full swing by now, which reminds me that I should get my shopping done when I have some free time. I think I can scrape together enough money to buy a little something for everyone in my family. Then there's Christmas cards for my new friends here, not to mention organizing a trip home for the break. Christmas is meant to be relaxing, but it feels like there's so much to organize for it. Coming up to the campus, I try to focus my thoughts back on the school for the time being. Thankfully, the paths here are better cleared, if nothing else. As students file in past the gate, my heart skips a beat as I recognize a particular blonde girl. She looks back and notices me as I skip up to meet her, her usual tired expression unwavering. I've never met someone so far from a morning person. Morning. Hey, Allison. With that, the both of us begin the walk-in side by side. All thoughts of schoolwork leave my mind as I try to stop myself glancing at Eileen, furtively trying to work out exactly how I'm expected to act around her. The part where we admit we're interested in each other is also where most of the romance movies I've seen end. And I've never gone out with anyone before. Then there's the fact that neither of us has said a word to the other beyond a quick greeting. I try to comfort myself with the thought that it's probably the same for Eileen too. It's always so hard to read her poker face. Good grief, it's cold today. She's not thinking at all about yesterday, is she? With a long breath, it feels like all my restlessness leaves me. Eileen's relaxed attitude makes me feel embarrassed for getting so worked up after seeing her again. How are you so confident about this? You know, with us going out and everything. I'm just really good at faking it. Hanging my head, I give up on ever trying to read her. The grin Eileen gives me makes me feel better about today in an instant. Her normally cold demeanor, if just for a moment, is pierced by that sincere smile that peeks through. A smile which soon evaporates, collapsing into something else entirely. Is something wrong? I just remembered something troublesome. Caprice. I almost ask why before the obvious hits me. With my thoughts finally moving beyond the girl at my side, the implications of all this become clearer. Should we just tell her? I'd rather not. You know Caprice as well as I do. I don't want her to make a fuss about us getting together. Then again, she'll probably work it out for herself. She's not stupid. She knows how to pay attention if I'm serious. Besides, is there really that much harm in letting her be happy for us? My serious tone in defense of Caprice seems to catch Eileen off guard. Catches me a little off guard too. Fine. If you're going to tell her, then I want to be there too. The discussion comes to an end, yet I find myself not wanting to leave despite having nothing further to say in particular. Seems Eileen has the same problem as she awkwardly mills about. The chatting students passing around us, only making the silence between us more pointed. Would it be okay to kiss her here and now? Yesterday in the park we did it without thinking. Eileen's always so awkward about physical affection, I'm not sure she'd like it, especially in public. What I'm thinking must have been plain to see as Eileen reaches down, placing her hand on top of my head and scruffing it around in response. It might be an odd way for her to show her feelings, but I can't say I hate the gesture. Feel my cheeks blushing as her hand rubs my head, enjoying every moment until she stops. Eileen's awkwardness all around this makes me feel a little better about my own uncertainty. Everything will work out fine. I'm sure of it. Ever the optimist. We'd better get to classes. See you at the club, I suppose. She sure doesn't seem to share my optimism as she waves and walks off, nor my like of our new club. I'm sure she'll come around, though. With the afternoon wearing on, I trudge up the familiar route to the second floor of the arts building. The sounds of raised voices come from up ahead, easily audible in the otherwise dead silent buildings. If I'm not mistaken, they are coming from the art room itself. Steeling myself for what's to come, I sigh and head on up to the door inside. Eileen and Caprice have already arrived as usual, each standing on the opposite side of a table as they fume at each other. Their heads snap towards me in unison the moment the door rattles open, making my heart skip a beat. Yes? Help me talk some sense into this woman, please. Just relax. As art club president, I have everything under control. Everything except the club part. I mean, I would have thought a club needed things like official paperwork, an advisor, funding for supplies that haven't been pilfered from the real art classes. Basically, more than an excited proclamation of a club existing. That's why I'm working on the posters. Join the new art club. Visit us in room 237. Just check if the door is open. Feeling sorry for the heavily sighing Eileen, my eyes drift to said posters lying on the table between them. You think that's a 5? I can't. It's honestly too squished. It's either a 3 or a 5. Numbers aren't real anyway. I walk over and tentatively take a look at the one sitting on top, its sharp graphics and color scheme catching the eye. They do look nice. See, people will love them. I may say that, but it's a little obvious this is out of her comfort zone when it comes to art. Her sketching is always nice, but her work with paints comes off as a little crude. Still, trying new things is to be praised. Think about this logically. It's nearly Christmas. All the students are going to be on break soon. Even if they weren't, nobody would be looking for a club to join around now anyway. I wouldn't exactly say that. Caprice is quick on the draw as she leans over and lashes onto my shoulder, beaming a smug look of victory at her opponent. I feel like I've been reduced to a useful prop in an argument, but Caprice isn't wrong. Eileen looks physically pained as she groans in frustration. She did walk right into that one. In what could only be interpreted as the universal sign of giving up, she shakes her head and starts to walk away, retreating to the cabinet to grab her things. It looks like posters will be the accomplishment of today as far as the club goes. I suppose it doesn't hurt to try and draw on some more members. Hopefully we can get them soon too. I wanted to have another club outing, and the more, the merrier. And like I declared, we're gonna make the pizza place a regular thing for the club. Yeah, she has some energy there. Gonna make the pizza place a regular thing for the club. I'm up for it. Eileen looks drearily at the traitor to her cause, but knows her goose is cooked as she hangs her head. I swear she looks more tired than usual. Then it's settled. Caprice goes back to fussing over her posters, brushing off some specks of dust that have settled on the paint. Taking advantage of the distraction, I look to Eileen. She grimaces as I pointedly flick my eyes back to our companion, plainly hoping to leave this for another day by her reaction. Reluctantly, Eileen sets her paints down and plods back over like a child accepting their bitter medicine. In hindsight, perhaps she was trying to use her painting as an excuse to not deal with this. Caprice is one of my few friends, however. I'd feel bad hiding this from her. Even if we tried to, she would just poke and poke until one of us eventually spilled the beans. What's up with you two? Caprice, there's something we need to tell you. To make this absolutely clear, this does not leave the room. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am. I'll bet. Eileen and I have started. I mean, it just happened recently, but we're going out. I feel Eileen take my hand in hers. I worry for a second about the sweatiness of my palm, but feeling her hand closing around mine settles my nerves. I never realized how warm someone else's hand could feel. As her fingers tighten, I realize something else. Eileen's settling herself just as much as me. Eh? Like dating? You guys are both... Yeah. Oh. My guess that Caprice wouldn't go too well turns out to be true, with even her surprise feeling a little exaggerated for effect. Well then, aren't you glad you can do art together all the time now? Look, we don't need any help. Much less help from you. But it's all right. I appreciate what you've done. Just don't go too crazy helping things along. Promise? Promise. Sounds like things are lively in here. Our gazes snap towards the doorway, Wallace strolling in with an expression more bored than in the least bit surprised. Eileen's hand lets go of mine, but the warmth remains as I reflexively feel my hand with the other to recount the sensation. I'm glad Eileen is a more collected person than I am, calmly playing off the interruption. Just as she's about to greet him, though, Millie slides around his large figure and into the room. Millie, you're here. You're looking cheerful today. We just finished our own club work, so we thought we'd pop by. So you're in the writing club too, Wallace? Only for now. Only until I graduate from this place. I am not joining this club, no matter how many times you ask. You make it sound like being here is some horrible fate. I smile a little at Eileen, suddenly finding some pride in the art club, now that someone has spoken against it. As for what I actually came here for, Haley was wanting us to join her for takeout. All right, takeout. Lead the way. Millie gives us a polite wave goodbye as Caprice skips over to pick up her hoodie on the way out. Unfortunately for Caprice, Eileen doesn't let her go so easily. And your club? Today's art club meeting is over. Good work, everyone. With a thumbs up for Caprice, the two disappear out the door and head off down the hallway. The three of us are left to our own devices after they leave. While I think Wallace to be a perfectly nice person, I'm still not really sure how to act around him. With Caprice no longer being the center of attention, that familiar self-consciousness I have around strangers flares up once again. It seems I'm not alone in not quite knowing what to say. Wallace and Eileen doing little more than awkwardly mill around. Given that they're good friends, it makes me think something is going on. I've told her, Wallace, you don't need to keep your mouth shut anymore. As he lets out a sigh of relief, it finally clicks. You knew about Eileen and I? Eileen, yes. Not you, though. Going by the fact this didn't just become intensely awkward, I'm gonna say things worked out. Eileen takes my opposite shoulder and shakes me lightly. Seems so. Well, I'm happy for you too. Hope it works out. Thanks. Told you I'd find someone who could put up with me. That's not the kind of thing you should say about yourself. Guess I'll get out of your way then. Just take things easy, okay? We will. We give each other our goodbyes before he leaves, his unmistakably large figure slowly disappearing down the orange-lit hallway. And then there were two. I thought you didn't want to tell anyone. Wallace is different. He's known I like girls since we were in high school. He's known I like you for a while now, too. I feel myself blush. The thought that Eileen talked to Wallace about me like that makes me smile. Suppose we'd better head home, too, given the club meet's over. Guess so. Yeah, I'll probably break at the end of this scene. It's an obvious invitation for us to leave together, but I find my feet stuck. I know I'll see her again tomorrow, but... Something on your mind? I don't really know how to phrase this, but what happens now? The expression she gives is one of genuine thought, rather than judging me for being so lost. It's only now that I wonder if this is actually her first relationship or not. If it is, that makes my confusion a lot more embarrassing. That's up to you, as much as it is me, you know. I guess school has got us for the week, but how about we go for a date on Saturday? Be good to get some use out of the car for once. Yes, that would be good. I mean, yes, let's do that. I can drive us, so just give a heads up once you've worked something out. As I consider the prospect, I can see a little excitement from Eileen at the idea of going on our first date, though I doubt she's realized it herself. As silence settles in the room, I see my chance. Allison? Taking Eileen's hands in mine and raising myself to my toes, I close my eyes and let my chin push forward. My heart feels to stop for a fleeting moment, my lips gently pressing to Eileen's as our hands intertwine. As our lips part and I come back down, my heart makes up for lost time. Come to think of it, I guess it's the first time I've ever kissed somebody myself. I have to admit, the physical side of us being together is nice, even if it is awkward. I can't help but feel the sensation lingering, despite the moment having passed, filling me with warmth. Even Eileen, so normally placid and stoic, looks flushed. The two of us end up standing around like complete dorks, the only sound being the trees rustling outside. Been wanting to do that since this morning. I swear you're getting bolder by the day. With a gentle smile, Eileen reaches over and rubs my hair. Even if I still don't quite know how to react when she does so, I can feel my head leaning into it and a dumb grin spreading on my face. Alright, well that seems like scene.